What's going on, guys? Welcome to our podcast, Walking Manifestator. I am your host, Alexa Peña, and in this podcast, I am on one mission and one mission only, and that is going to help you awaken your truest and highest self. Embrace and embody your true power and help you elevate to a completely new consciousness. A transformational journey with the Walking Manifestator you are born to be. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about some very interesting perspectives when it comes to regulating your nervous system. And I'm trying something different. These episodes are going to start becoming a little bit shorter, and our YouTube full long format videos are going to be a little bit longer. So if you're interested in the full conversation of how to regulate your nervous system, definitely check it out. But I am going to do my very best to synthesize a message for you to understand the main goal of this conversation, which is how to regulate your nervous system in order for you to manifest the abundance that God has already created for us. And something that I can promise that you will walk away with at the end is that you're going to understand why your nervous system is actually creating your reality, how anxiety, comparison, and overthinking keep you stuck, and understanding practical ways to regulate your body starting today. Now, the first thing I want to help you understand is what creates survival mode. Well, survival mode actually comes from a part of our brain that is actually called the amygdala. And the amygdala is our alarm system. It cannot tell the difference between real danger and imagined danger. So, to make that even more simple is if you are telling your friend a story of when you were cheated on, right? Your amygdala doesn't know that that is just a story. What it's actually internalizing is that you are in survival all over again. Meaning, if you meet a guy at that particular moment when you're having a conversation with your friend about the guy that cheated on you, chances are when you look at this guy, you're going to look at him and think, I can't really trust you. Or maybe it's something geared around money, right? Maybe you have told yourself that you don't have more than enough money. And what actually ends up happening is that your amygdala is like a signal. So it is actually already telling your nervous system, we don't have enough money, we are in survival, we are in lack. And why is this important? This is actually blocking your manifestation. When you are constantly overthinking, when you're constantly comparing yourself, when you're constantly in a rush, you're operating from lack. And when you believe that you're missing something, your body goes into urgency and it actually blocks alignment. So I've talked about this before, but Dr. Joe talks about how our nervous system and how our energy field that we have around us is actually connected to the quantum field. And we as individuals are made out of energy. When we can understand that we are made out of energy, this is actually super, super mind-blowing, because let's just say you're trying to tap into a certain station that plays country music, but the only thing that you hear is rock music. Well, no duh, you're tapped into the actual wrong station. You're not going to receive the music that you're trying to listen to. It's the exact same thing when it comes to focusing on lack. When you are focusing on everything that you do not have, you're only going to attract more of that lack. Now, just to give you a perspective from also a biblical standpoint, because my goal with these conversations is to start tying into the scientific world with the biblical world. For a long time, I've been a little afraid to talk about these things because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings about thinking like, oh, she's trying to push an agenda down my throat and tell me that I should believe in God in order for me to manifest stuff. But you know what? Lately, I have really been feeling this calling to share more of my true testimonies. And for those of you that maybe don't align with that, that is okay. But for those of you that are open to just having a different perspective, I would love for you to adopt at least some of these perspectives that have changed my mind. And I've mentioned this before. I have gone through journeys and parts of my journey where I didn't believe in anything. So this is not from somebody that has not gone through the turbulent waters and the things that have made me question my entire existence. But I want you to understand that God is always there, and sometimes we're just not willing to listen. On Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord, lean not on your own understanding. What does that mean? Well, a lot of the times we are just so consumed with what we can see that we don't understand that God has already created a way for us to have more than enough, for us to have more opportunities, for us to have more blessings. But because we're so consumed in our human perspective that we don't think we have enough, therefore we go into lack. We start overthinking. We start trying to control everything. We stress ourselves out, which obviously leads to deregulation. Now, in Proverbs 17:22, a peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. The more that you're in survival, the more that you are in lack. And in the book, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, I've shared this book with you guys many times. He talks about this. He literally talks about how when we are constantly focusing on everything that's going wrong, we are going to make our body sick. And there is another book that also talks about this, and it's The Body Keeps Score. And it talks so much about how when we're always in survival, when we're always focusing on lack, when we're always focusing on the trauma that we've gone through, we're going to continue to make our body sick. Now, this is important because when you can understand that peace regulates the nervous system, stress is obviously the opposite, which is where it's being dysregulated. So the more that you're in survival, the more that your brain is not going to be able to hold the manifestation that you're looking to call in. And in Matthew 6:34, it literally reminds us of this all over again. It says, do not worry about tomorrow. What are we talking about here? Well, of course, the more that you focus on you and your human comprehension and what you can do, then of course, the more stress that you're going to feel about the next thing. Like, for example, I don't worry about how I'm going to get my next deal. I just worry about giving value and being of service. And the people that see who I am and understand that I'm there to truly be helpful as much as I can, they're going to resonate with me. Those that are not interested, or those that are looking for something else or have a hidden agenda, then we're not going to end up working together. But every single time, God has provided me with proof that when I take care of people, people will take care of me. And again, I know that this is not the case for everybody. I know some of you might feel like, Alexa, I've had situations that have happened to me that I was trying to take care of people. Well, stick around because I do talk about boundaries, and this is an important one that you definitely want to keep in mind. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is going to be, you cannot receive anything when you are in survival. So the more that you're focusing on the next thing that you're trying to acquire, the next goal, the next thing that you want to buy, whatever it is, versus focusing on everything that you have, you just create more lack. And I want you to think about it back to the radio station comparison, right? If you are trying to manifest a house, a better job opportunity, a better relationship, but you're always focusing on, God, I am so ungrateful for the house that I already have, or the apartment that I already have, or the car that I already have, or the relationship that I, sabotaged and went wrong. And I just look at how they messed it up and how I was perfect and I did nothing. These are the things that are actually keeping you from manifesting the thing that you really want. Survival state is always going to block your opportunities. A regulated state is always going to allow you to have alignment and clarity. Now, this is the part where I want to share with you some tools that are going to help you in getting the system regulation that you're looking for. The first one is speak life into your life. When you're speaking negatively to yourself, when you're speaking in forms of, I am so dumb, or I can never have that type of life, or other people are always winning and I'm always losing, or that other person, does so much better than me. This is literally speaking death into your life. What you want to do instead is say, you know what, God, thank you so much for the fact that I'm alive. Thank you so much for the blessings that you've given me. Thank you so much for all the opportunities. Thank you for the fact that I have clean water, for the fact that I have a roof, for the fact that I have a job, for the fact that I have bills that I'm able to pay with my job. All the things that you already have, focus on those things, and I promise you, you're going to start noticing such a big difference because now you're training your nervous system to be in appreciation versus in comparison. Another thing that has really helped me is breath work. I do this box technique that I basically breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds. You can also just go on YouTube and find a quick video on meditation. I promise you, once you incorporate meditation during your day, because meditation is not you staying in a room with lights and candles and breathing and just relaxing. Meditation is how you're able to show up in the darkest times. Meditation is getting to know yourself better, to the unconscious parts of you. Meditation is actually understanding your true essence. And meditation is so powerful because that is when you actually understand, I am growing. I didn't react the same way. I decided that instead of barking at my kids, I was going to take a deep breath and come back when I was a little more calm. Or I told my partner that I wanted some space, and instead of me yelling at them and telling them, I don't want to talk to you right now, you said it in a way of like, hey, I need to take a breath. We'll talk later, but I love you and we're going to be fine. I just need some moment of space for myself. These are the things that really start to change your entire nervous system. And some of the last ones that I want to share with you right now, because like I said, on the YouTube video, I did give a full 30-minute conversation. So if you're interested, check that out. But inner work is so important. The more inner work that you do, the easier it's going to be for you to realize where these triggers are coming from. A lot of the times, and I was of the mindset of, if you don't like it, then too bad. If you don't like it, there's a door. If you don't like it, I don't care, and this is just who I am. And that is one of the most toxic mindsets to have, because you are never really going to grow. And the people that are wanting to share with you perspectives are going to be so afraid of sharing a different perspective with you that you're not really ever going to get to the next best version of yourself. Inner work allows you to ask yourself deep questions, which allow you to have better clarity of who you are, who you're becoming, and who you're trying to become. So the last thing, and this is the most important that I could share with you, is your spiritual connection with God. I started off this conversation by saying that I'm going to be more vulnerable and share more of my testimony and how God has really saved my life, because I believe that we're entering this era in our life where we are craving more connection with God than ever. And a lot of us, we feel like the world is collapsing before our eyes. And this is just a reminder that the more that you focus on the things that you can't control, the more you're going to get into survival. What I do is I tell God, you know what, God? Help me become a better version of myself in order for me to be of service, in order for me to be able to help and make a difference and do something. Because when we're always focusing on everything that's going wrong with the world, you're going to stick to that survival fear mindset. And that is what the people that are controlling the media, that are controlling these wars and everything that's happening in between, that is what they want. They want you to lose your power. And the easiest way for you to lose your power is to go into fear, for you to go into survival, instead of trusting in the Lord and trusting that everything is going to work out. Even when we don't know, even when we feel like nothing is working out, having faith that everything is working out in our favor. That has been one of the most quantum leaps that I've had in my life, one of the most quantum shifts that I've had in my life, because I've changed my mindset from thinking how everything is going wrong to thanking God for everything that is going right in my life. And even when I get into a mindset where, because I'm human, that I'm upset about something that happened, I just remind myself, God, thank you, because I don't understand right now why you're having me go through this situation, but I know there's something that I'm going to learn from this experience, and I just want to say thank you. So I hope this episode was helpful for those of you that continue to come back. Thank you so much for being part of the Walking Manifestator community. And I want to remind you that you are worthy, that you are loved, and you absolutely can manifest anything you want in your life. You just have to believe that there is somebody on your side that has already decided and created that path for you. So I love you, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of Walking Manifestator. And with that being said, I want to remind you, visualize, embody, and transcend. Be the walking manifestator you are born to be.